So in this week's Parshas Pekudei, we're taught about how Moshe Rabbeinu takes all the vessels and beams and curtains that's been made by the Jewish people and takes all the items and assembles the Mishkan and puts it all together. And the Torah tells us that each piece that Moshe Rabbeinu assembles, it describes it in such a way that Moshe Rabbeinu put the Aron in its spot as Hashem commanded him. Moshe Rabbeinu puts the Shulchan in the right spot as Hashem commanded him. Moshe Rabbeinu sets up the curtains as Hashem commanded him. Consistently, that's how it describes each thing that Moshe does. The one exception is when Moshe Rabbeinu establishes and sets up the courtyard in front of the Mishkan. The first thing you come in contact with as you enter into the Mishkan, it just says Moshe established the courtyard, put up the walls around the courtyard, but it doesn't say as Hashem commanded. The question is why? It doesn't seem to be consistent. So this is a question that the commentators deal with. There's a beautiful answer that was given by Reb Leib Eger, Reb Feger's grandson, Reb Leib Eger. So he writes in his Sefer Torah Semes the following idea. He says that the nature of a tzaddik, a Moshe Rabbeinu type, is to be very humble. And the nature of humility is that might create within the tzaddik a feeling of being passive and even a feeling of being unworthy of coming closer to Hashem. And said Reb Leib Eger, that's a beautiful quality, and that's something that Moshe Rabbeinu felt very strongly. And when Moshe Rabbeinu therefore was about to enter into the sanctuary to put the Shulchan in the right spot, he felt that humility, he felt that awe in Hashem's presence, so much so that he couldn't really see himself as worthy of doing such a thing. And therefore he had to sort of feel the invitation, as Hashem commanded him. He had to remind himself, no, Hashem wants me to do this. He had to sort of feel invited. And this is true, said Reb Leib Eger. Every single thing that Moshe Rabbeinu did within the Mishkan, every single step he took to make the Mishkan greater and to build it up and up further and further, he had to feel invited because his humility held him back. But said Reb Leib Eger, that's only true once you're in the Mishkan. And now it's a matter of when you're in the Mishkan to come closer to Hashem, to learn deeper things, to attach yourself in deeper levels. Then there's a place for humility, and a Moshe Rabbeinu type has to feel invited. But if you're outside the Mishkan altogether, and then you have this voice inside of your head that says, how could I even enter into the courtyard? Who am I? I'm nothing. God is so big. I have to wait for an invitation. Said Reb Leib Eger, that's not good at all. That's the Yetzer Hara. There's no place for humility when you're outside the Mishkan. When it's a matter of being outside the Mishkan and getting your way in, that's not the time for humility. You don't wait to be invited. You push your way in. Chutzpah yazgi. The Gemara tells us that before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a lot of chutzpah. How can we use that chutzpah in a productive way? Said Reb Leib Eger, because the last generation before Mashiach, very often we find ourselves outside of the Mishkan, so to speak, outside of real avodas Hashem. And in order to push our way through that and to enter into the courtyard, we have to use chutzpah, because we can't wait to hear that voice of Hashem commanded you. Sometimes that voice doesn't feel like it's coming. And Hashem wants us to be chutzpahdik, Hashem wants us to be brazen, and to push our way through that entrance and to get into the chutzner. Once we're in the courtyard, then you can be a Moshe Rabbeinu, be humble and be submissive and wait for invitations further. But to get in, chutzpah. You have to go in, you have to break down all the rules, break down all the walls, and get yourself into the chutzner. No waiting for the words of Hashem commanded us. So Hashem should help. We should be zeicha to get our way into the chutzner, get our way into the Mishkan. And Hashem should help to give us the strength to be able to use the chutzpah that we all naturally feel in this generation and to use it productively. Hashem should help. We should come into Shabbos with menuchas nefesh and menuchas guf, and both individually and collectively see the redemption of our people. V'yas kol tzedek. Meher v'meinu amen.
Thank you, Hashem.